Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. That's great. That's good. Feedback. I'm Vera Williams-Davis, and I'm the project director for Family Affair Ministries Model Nashville. And this is Pastor Glenda Sutton. She's the CEO and founder of Family Affair Ministries. So I'm going to turn it over to her first.
Praise the Lord. Good afternoon to you. I got a question for you. Have you ever seen one of these? Yeah, some of you know. TANF is Assistance for Needy Families. From 1989 to 1998, I was a needy family. This is my last food stamp, and I saved it and I laminated from 1998. This is a $100 bill I took out of my husband's pocket and said, I'm going to spend it after service. So praise God. So I want you to know that this represents everything that TANF is. The Tennessee Assistance for Needy Families, myself and my two sons in 1989 were that. We came into Nashville, Tennessee, and I was, I'm a veteran, air traffic controller by occupation, but had been through domestic violence and found myself being a needy family. Found myself being homeless. So I was a resident at the Nashville Women's Mission, me and my boys, for a season. Then we were homeless for 53 days in the city of Nashville. Then the kindness of a manager put me in James Casey Homes, and I lived there for 10 years. As a matter of fact, Family Affair Ministries was started in my apartment at 629 South 5th Street. How do you bring people from poverty? How do you get someone out of poverty and bring them to productivity? You walk where they walked. You live where they live. You do what they do. You spend what they spent. And then you find a way out. And when you come out, you go back and bring them out. Our mission statement is restoring families, rebuilding communities to God's hands extended. But I found out by walking, me and my boys realized that every place you walk, there's something you need. And if there's no connect the dots, you can get lost in the system. So being in the system, I use the system and the community to get out. And so I wanted to be able to show others how to do that. So we took everything, every trial, every tribulation, every struggle, and we endeavored that we would go back. It's awesome on this, if what's amazing is that after us, it's Family for Children Services, right? I was a 1998 Family of the Year, me and my boy, single parent Family of the Year from Family and Children Services while working at Martha O'Brien Center. And I just thought that was just so cool the way this is lined up. But here's what I want you to know before I turn this over so you can see what we're going to do. We are going to use this opportunity, if we're awarded it, to help others come out. See, being in poverty is a mindset first. So the mind has got to change. For 10 years, my mind had to be renewed. My mind had to change. My heart had to change because I realized that the things that were presented had been presented for generations. I'm a generational welfare family. I came from, my mama I spent food stamps as a kid. I went to the military, got out, trying to run away, but found myself back in the same place. I'd gotten out, but my heart wasn't out, my mind wasn't out. But now, my mind's out, my heart's out. I can walk it, talk it, live it, and give it, and we're ready to teach others. And we've had some success for 25 years doing it. So much so that the President of the United States in 2007 recognized the change in East Nashville because of what we did, and we received an award for it. Then the mayor in Nashville found out what the president did and gave us the key to the city. They didn't give us any money with it, but they gave us the key to the city. So now we need the money to go along with it. We have been stationed in Berkshire Place apartments because some community folk who bought a housing community wanted us to come in and do what we had done or what they found out I did in James Casey Homes. So let me tell you what we did. Here's a model Nashville.
Again, it's hard to follow her. That's why I've been walking with her for 25 years, hey. But we're excited. We're excited because this is jump-starting us to say, hey, you still got to go further in what you're doing. You've been doing an excellent job, but you got to go further. So as Pastor shared, our mission, but our vision is moving families in East Nashville from a life of poverty to productivity and prosperity. Now, what is the value in what we've been doing? We've been doing this, as we said, for more than 20 years, and we've been meeting the basic human needs. You know what Maslow said, if these needs aren't met, it doesn't matter what you do to me. If I'm hungry, you got to feed me. If I'm naked, you got to clothe me. You got to provide shelter. So we've been doing these things for more than 25 years. We've been doing job training and placement, and we've seen some amazing outcomes, but we've been doing it on a small scale because we are a small grassroots organization. One of the things that Pastor has taught us over the years and that we've embraced is that whoever knocks at the door, you don't stop right there. So if a child comes because they need help in school, because they're having behavioral issues in school, and they come to the after-school program, that child is attached to a family. So what good does it do us to minister to that child, to help them improve academically when the environment that they go back to is unchanged? So we take the whole family. And we've been asked over the years, you're doing too much. Why are you doing too much? One of the things that Pastor said was, well, you got a family in your house. If 2 people in your household have a toothache or are sick, which one are you going to treat? You're going to treat them both. So that's the approach we've taken in terms of ministering to our families. The other thing that's valuable about what we've done is that we've helped them to obtain a voice, to recognize that they have a voice and that they can advocate on their behalf for the things that they need. Evidence of that is that our families would get on a bus, go down to Dedrick, change buses just to get to Kroger to buy groceries, to get the groceries with their babies back on the bus to get back to East Nashville. So we petitioned Dollar General, and the builders, our partners, property owners, built a Dollar General store with twofold purposes, providing the needs that the families had, but also providing jobs for the residents. Problem to be solved. We want to reduce the number of families in our community, in our target area. We're going to talk a little bit about this later, but we've learned over the years and in most recent focus groups and in our planning sessions that a great percentage, about 80% of our families feel that they're entitled to the benefit that they receive for the government. And so we want to reduce that, and we want to change that mindset so they recognize, no, this is not an entitlement.
Why isn't it entitlement? My mama had food stamps. My grandmama had food stamps. Why I'm not entitled?
Because
why can't I have it?
Because you need to break the curse. You need to break the cycle. You need to have what you want to have when you want to have it and not wait for somebody to give it to you. So we want to increase the number of families becoming self-sufficient. Population to be served. We are looking at Metro Council in Davidson County, District 7 and District 9. Those zip codes, as you can see. Now, just pockets in these zip codes represent about 140,000 people. Now, the poverty rate for just these zip codes is at 90%, just in these pockets, in District 7 and District 9.
Innovative components of Model Nashville, one of our components is mindset. Now, we have taken the collaborative approach because you told us we needed some partners, and we already had partners. We already knew that. So what we've done is we've taken the collaborative approach, and we partner with folk whose minds have already been changed. We've got some people like Rafa Institute. We've got Begin Anew, and everything that these organizations do, they deal with mindset because you cannot change a person's heart. You can't change their situation until you change the way they think about it. So what we do, and the way we do it, is one of the things we do is we tell them, I am. We tell them, this is who you are. You are prosperous. Now let me show you how to do it. You are successful because you're not successful until you believe you are. And one of the things we do is we walk through every area with the family, every area, to teach them how. And we use partners, and we've got some excellent partners in this model that are going to help us do just that. Because if you can change a mind, you can change a generation.
Now, what she didn't say that we did some research to find out, because we were like, okay, we've been doing this 25 years and we've seen some successes, but the success stories that we had, once they got on their feet, they moved out. They didn't come back to help. So we've got generations or individuals that were in poverty to have their PhDs now. They're in home ownership. So they've done it, but they didn't look back. So we said, okay, we got to teach this cycle to look back, to give back, to pour in. And then we started saying, in these conversations, we looked at the mindset from a fixed standpoint versus a growth standpoint. The fixed mindset says the traits, the attributes, what I have, that's who I am. And that's fine. I'm going to stay right there. The growth mindset says, no, the attributes, the qualities, the abilities that I have, I'm going to build on them so that I can move and be successful in what I deem. And we're going to use the curriculum that Pastor Glenda has written, I Am, but we're going to take it from a knowledge and empowerment standpoint with cognitive thinking. We're going to rewire the way that brain is, because if you have read any other research on brain science, it shows that people in poverty are trapped in a fixed mindset. They don't see a way out, because if you walk into any one of the houses of the families we serve now, they got everything in their house that you got in yours and maybe something else. So they don't recognize. So we've got to get them to start focusing on memory, to start focusing on planning, to start focusing on outcomes for the next. Barriers that trigger dependency. These are the things that we identified in our families, that when one of these things happens, if my household income changes, then that means I got to make a decision. Example, young mom, 2 kids, gets a job, starts making maybe $24,000 a year. So now her benefits from Families First, they'll carry her for a period of time of transition. But her HUD, project-based subsidized housing, in 30 days, she's going from 0 rent to $839 a month rent, and has no idea how to manage it, has never paid rent, has never paid utilities. So a part of that changing of the mindset and looking at these barriers, because what they said to us, yeah, I went to work. I didn't have transportation. I caught a bus here, caught a bus there, had to get my babies, and they just changed my rent. Well, I need to go to work.
That's why we have partners. Move on. That's why we have partners.
So,
and we've got partners who are going to help you. You're not going to tell us to sit down. We have partners. And what we're going to do, come on, let's keep going.
Yeah. So the collaboration of resources, because this is the heart of what we're presenting. The collaboration of resources we found with HUD, with DHS, with DCS, those systems have got to talk to each other to work together so we can transition people off, not let people feel like, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be stuck here. Okay, so the model that we've put together, Model Nashville, it addresses all of these. It addresses all 4 of the TANF purposes and all 4 of the universal outcomes. Partners. Now, we're small, and we have small grassroots organizations that we have identified that wanted to partner with us in this. And those organizations include Rafa Institute, East Nashville Hope Exchange, Cafe Momentum, Begin Anew, and Recovery Community, Hananiah House, Christ Cares, and First Cumberland. What's so unique, as Pastor was saying, about this is that our partners are going to focus on where they are, what they do great. And then the other partners will come and wrap around those services.
And they are awesome in what they do.
Yes.
One of the things that we've done over the years, we've had to wear so many hats because we tried to be all things to all men. And we found out, and we did well. But it works better when you have a village doing it. It takes a village to raise a child. So these are our village partners. One of our partners, well, maybe several here, but I know Begin Anew is here with us. And their program is so amazing because they take the adult and help them get their high school equivalency, and they raise them up and they get job training and they help them. So wherever there's a deficit, we've got a partner that comes in and plugs it in. And then we are big on accountability. You don't let a person, most things don't succeed because nobody holds them accountable. Listen, we've gone and knocked on doors and told girls, you get up, and told boyfriends, you leave. That's just real. We did. And, you know, and sometimes you got to get that, I got to get in your face and tell you because I love you, because I want to help you. Now, if we're going to break the cycle of poverty, the only way you're going to do it is with resources and with people and with accountability. We don't have the resources. We haven't had them. But we've used everything we've ever had in our hands, and we've used it well. We're excellent stewards. You can check our records. And also, every partner that we have is excellent in stewardship. You can check their records. So, come on, tell them some more.
So combined, we have more than 90 years of experience serving and loving on low-income families. When you look at our budget breakout, one of the things I want to point out is that we recognize that we have to be very smart in how we distribute cash assistance to residents. So we don't give any residents cash assistance. Whatever your need is, we pay it to the person that if it's rent, if it's utilities. Some of our programs are residential programs, especially for the ones dealing with substance abuse issues and the ones coming out of prison. Is that it? Okay. Look, she just pulled the clock on. I knew it was going to be hard, but we're glad. We've never done anything in 15 minutes, but we tried.
Questions. What are your questions? Come on, talk to me. I know you want to ask something.
Fascinated by your idea of rewiring brains. Do you have a specific way of doing that, or is that just kind of an overall hope from the whole process?
We have a specific way. We're using curriculum, but we also have some amazing counselors. We have some amazing doctors. We have some amazing instructors who will work with us. We have college level. We have instructors. Whatever you need, we have it. So it'd be kind of hard to tell you everything we need because you're going to start charging me more time.
But another part to that, because of the cognitive aspect of what we're doing, there are activities. So before we do anything with any participant, we run them through a series of cognitive activities, which are simple games. They got phones. They're on the phones all the time. Let's start making that brain look at another way to do things. And then we introduce the new content.
And we've got psychologists.
Pastor, really appreciate your sort of vision and passion here. Can you talk a little bit more about your outcomes? What is success? How do you define success from this model?
Yes, sir. The way success is defined as when you take a person from welfare, from food stamps, from the SNAP system, from whatever assistance that they're getting, and you give them tools, you put things in their hands to help them come out of that. It takes them to the next place. Well, let me just give you some of our successes. We've taken one of the programs that we've done, and it's been recognized by, and we did through AmeriCorps, recognized by the AmeriCorps Corporation. We took residents in our community, and we partnered with AmeriCorps, and we took mamas who couldn't read, and we put them in a school. A mama who left school in the 8th grade, and we put her in a classroom with a 6th grader as a reading specialist. And we had encouraged her to help them read, and she became a better reader. And we used a model like that. We took a food service training class. We have, my husband is a chef. He teaches food service safety management. We've taken every skill that we have, and we've created programs, we've run people through them, and we've had great job successes. I hope I'm answering your question. We've had great job successes. Kids in our kindergarten readiness program, we have schools asking us for the kids who come out of our programs because those kids are some of the most successful students in their school.
And let me just add to that, Commissioner. What we found over the years is that if we can get them to show up 70 to 75% of the time, we'll have an achievement of 80 to 83%. And that's showing up, being ready to learn. If we got to get you up, wash your face, come on, get ready to learn. If you will show up between 70 and 75%, 83% of you will reach the goals.
And we take away the excuses. Those who say we don't have a way to get here, well, we've got a transportation department. We will get you if your bus can't get you there. We've got a van that can get you there, or a car that can get you there. And we're also presented a model where we make residents chauffeurs. We had people in communities, they become car buddies and teach them how to get each other to the places they need to get to so they can be accountable and responsible. Did I answer your question?
So the financial component, you are taking care of paying rent if that's something they're lacking, or taking care of utilities. So is there a financial training component that you're offering to allow them to make those decisions better for themselves when they move on?
Yes.
Yes.
That training component looks like this. It's 3 parts. But we're basically moving away from traditional low-earning jobs or mid-earning jobs. We want people to be their own business owners. So the job training piece is twofold. We're looking at working with employers for transitional jobs because of the barriers that kick in. if I've got an education skill and a low job skill mentality, I'm not going to acquire what I need to go and work on your job and perform the way I'm not going to be your ideal employee. So we're looking at transitional jobs, and then we're also looking at one of our partners does in-home based childcare. We have several apartment families that take care of other families' children so they can go to work. Well, let's do it legal. Let's get you trained, let's get you licensed, then you can get the certificate that DHS will give you for the child care voucher while you're taking care of your neighbor's kids. The other one is that a lot of our families are interested in being caregivers for the elderly and caregivers for family members that have some kind of dysfunction. So we're doing a training program that trains them to be certified in non-medical in-home care. And the other component that Pastor mentioned earlier was the ride share. We're teaching them we don't need to pay Uber and Lyft. You got a reliable vehicle. You learn, you get your license. A lot of our folk got to get license reinstated or have to obtain license. So a portion of the assistance that we have, the funding that we have, is dedicated directly to those areas. We can always partner with somebody and put somebody on a job. Everybody's hiring. But we want them to become their own.
And to directly answer your question, you asked about financial literacy. Yes, ma'am. We have a financial literacy portion, and we partner with banks, and we have instructors, and even our partners. Every one of our partners has a financial instruction class in it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pastor. I guess one question, well, a couple, but one in particular. And what is it that makes, I think the trend now, and the reason we have taken this path is because there are a lot of programs out there, and we haven't seen the success rate. So what makes this program so innovative, and what's really, really, really that we could call innovation unique over other programs that's out there?
One of the things we've been called over the years is the best kept secret in Nashville, East Nashville. And one of the reasons we were such a best kept secret was because we weren't trying to push our program. We were busy in the trenches working with the people, and we were serving the people. So one of the things that has happened as a result of that, East Nashville began to change. Businesses came in because our neighborhoods changed, because people began to change, and because the people that were being raised up were changing the atmosphere and changing the realm. We don't want to be another program. We don't offer programs. We offer change. We offer life. We want to take families, build families, bring families up so that families can raise other families up. That's what we do. And we've done it. We have done it well. Now, we don't have everything here that you can see, but you got 30 pages worth of our report that you can look and you'll find it. And you can go to our website, or you can put on your tennis shoes one day and come walk with me. I'll show you. Yeah. Praise God.
Yeah. And I think, too, Representative Stevens, is that when you talk about innovation and you talk about being unique, for us, it has boiled down to the individuals, to the staff. You've got to have the right people that have a heart for family restoration and community rebuilding to make any change impossible. And if you have that heart, then the people that you're recruiting and you're reaching out to, they're going to trust you. And that's one thing that in 25 years, we have people that trust us and that say, okay, you're going to tell me the truth. I'm not going to put this Band-Aid over it. The first Band-Aid is you don't have money to pay your rent. Well, the issue is that you don't have money to pay your rent. What are you doing with the money that you have? So we're going to move beyond that Band-Aid, and we give them the opportunity to make mistakes because they have got to learn. If I'm coming from a mindset of this is the way it's always been, this is all I've seen, this is all I've known, the innovation is I'm going to change my mind, and I'm going to do something different so that I can become someone different.
And accountability is one of the things, too. We still take people who have the hang-ups, and we bring them in and we say, this is the truth, and this is the way you need to walk, and this is the way you need to live. And we bring the financial piece in, and we bring in every part, and we help them. But one of the most innovative things that I know, and I'm going to say this, one of the most innovative things that I know is good old-fashioned in your face. Let's get this done. Now, we're going to use all of the technology. We're going to use all of the new things that there are. But some mamas need to get in some kids' faces and say, no. We need to get kids in place. We need to get some young women need to get in some. We have older women who get in young women's faces. We have people who are willing to say to a young girl, listen, it's going to be this way or you're going to walk with your drug dealer. Come on now, don't play. So if you want to see change, if our nation is going to change, if people are going to change, you're going to have to tell them the truth. You're going to have to be real, and you're going to have to put some good old-fashioned stuff together with your new stuff. There's a scripture that I really like. It says, the rich and the poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all, but every one of them need wisdom in order to walk. So we're going to bring wisdom to the table with innovation to the table with some mamas, some families loving each other, and we're going to raise up a generation. We're going to break the cycle of poverty, and we're going to go spend $100 and put the food stamp down.
I can't let you sit down until I
thought our time was over.
No, not until did she raise the red sign? We got 5 minutes, so
Come on with it.
baby girl, you can preach on some more if you want to there. So we got all the time in the world. No, I do want to tell you,
Yes, sir.
The energy is tremendous. Tell me how we replicate your energy. Tell me how you can scale that up. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zip codes. 140,000 people. You mentioned 70% of them are living in a tough situation. How do we replicate and scale up what you bring to the table to get it to everybody, and then potentially get it across the state? So give me that.
Man, I'm so glad you asked me that question. That's the best question today. Yours was good too. That's the best question. Let me just tell you how we've done it and what we want to do. I said earlier, we're in Berkshire Place Apartments. We're in Berkshire Place Apartments because some folk heard about what we were doing in James Casey in my front yard and over there. And they invited us. They purchased an apartment complex with 200 units in it. And they invited us to come. They said, come over. And they said, come and do whatever it is you do that's changing lives that we've been seeing. And so I said, okay. They said, what do you need? They were going to give us a room. I said, well, we need more space. So in that space, I said, listen, my husband teaches food service safety management. And he's going to teach some folk how to work in jobs and not have to work in McDonald's and Burger King, but we're going to send them into restaurants. So they built us a commercial kitchen. And from that commercial kitchen, we trained people that are working in Centennial Hospital, that are working in industrious places. We also had a computer lab. I said we built a computer lab in there so we could teach people who would never use a computer how to use a computer. Then we asked doctors and dentists, will you come over and help our families? And then we got kids and people who became interested in those things to raise them up. Now, in that apartment complex, Berkshire, we've had families come and go because people come in and they get raised up and they go out. Now, this First Cumberland Properties, one of our partners, is getting ready to build a second complex in Madison. And guess what? They said, we're not going unless you go. So they're building us another family center in that property in the 37115 zip code. And we're taking families from East Nashville into Madison with us. And we're also building in Madison. The model that we're presenting, we're bringing everything that a family needs inside of a housing community. And then they're going to replicate that. So what we're doing, we're teaching the residents. We call them building captains. We are raising up the residents to come and work in their community. There is never, ever, ever a good plan unless there's a succession and an exit. My number one job is to work myself out of a job. So what you want to do and what we've got to do, we're raising up the next generation to take this thing and do it. And as Michael W. Smith said in one of our videos, he said, I honestly believe that what you're doing in this community can be modeled all over this city and across the United States of America. So we just want an opportunity to model it with our partners.
And another key component to what Pastor is saying is that the 7 agencies, we courted 25 agencies, and the 7 that rose to the top have the same heart and the same mindset that we do. They have the same staff. So the staff with the mindset. So training the people that touch the people, training and walking with us, observing what we do, how we do. We walk with Begin Anew. We walk with Rafa Institute so they can see and say, okay, this is how success is coming.
We may not have enough time to finish on this, but I want to go back to the pie charts and tell me about the money. Tell me about the money that you're looking at. And I'm sorry if this ends us up, but that is important to us as well.
We tried. We've never
No,
done
it's
anything
okay,
15 minutes. We
because
tried.
at the end of the day, we want your money.
So now, the way we built the budget now, and I'm believing that it was the correct way we did it. But what we did was the 22% is that's our 7% is our special assistance. 7% is our special assistance, and the 64%, 69%, 72%. Those are our partners. Those are the collaborators. And within each of, that's a big chunk of what we're doing, but within each of these areas in each year, there's about 20% of what they're doing that's going to direct service. Now, everything is direct service to the participant, but that's going to give them some kind of benefit, whether it's a residential facility to recover from drug addiction, whether it's mental health counseling, or whether it's prison reentry. That's been a big thing for us. We've got moms whose babies are in foster care or with grandparents. And so there's a residential facility for them to do that. So the smaller pieces, that's our budget. The big piece, that's our partners. And we're walking away. I saw your red dot.